This is a life-changing book. This came out 11 years ago, and or 12. And essentially it said, in the electronic world, you're no longer cordoned off from your customers. They're going to be talking with your employees directly. They're going to have a voice all of a sudden. You can't just sort of step on them the way we used to. Have people heard of United Breaks Guitars? If you do nothing else, go and look at this. Go to YouTube, just put in United Breaks Guitars. What happens, this guy, he's a professional country and western singer, Canadian. He's in Chicago, and United says, well, you've got to check that guitar. He goes, oh, no, hey, you don't understand this professional instrument, you know, it's very fragile. You got to check the guitar. Okay. And so people on board go, look at that. And the guys are throwing this guitar back and forth, and they break it. So he goes to United for recompense, and they tell him, forget it. You shouldn't take guitars on airplanes. And he fights through 3 or 4 levels of customer support, just telling him, you know, go away. So what does he do? He writes a song about it. United Breaks Guitars. It's a very catchy song. You know, you've got to get with the rhythm of this thing. Well, he posted on YouTube, and millions of people watch the song. And it really makes you wonder, does United give a damn about its customers? How could they treat somebody like this? Because his song lays out the whole deal. And United's stock drops $180 million on the New York Exchange. Direct correlation? Well, maybe not, but like nothing else was going on. There weren't any new regulations coming out or any labor strife. It looks like this guy hit him for almost $200 million because he broke his guitar. And of course, they bent over backwards saying, here, please take a replacement guitar. He said, give it to charity. I don't need it. Because the people who built the guitars got so much publicity, they gave him free guitars for the rest of life. But there are all kinds of things like this. Consumers have an incredible voice, and learners are consumers. So I advise a group in the UK, which is companies that offer IT training, essentially. And I've explained to them, hey, you know, you can't get away with boring stuff anymore because everybody's going to rate it online. And if your ratings go down, nobody's going to come to your courses anymore. Overall, business has gone from a thing where we used to just train employees, in fact, just train full-time employees, because those are most of the people who are doing the work. They're not the people doing the work anymore. It's all of these other people. It's the partners. It's the folks that are outsourced to. It's temps. It's everybody in the supply chain. So I think that these learning ecologies have to broaden to take in everybody who's working with an organization. The workplace is no longer just the employees who work at home. I work with chief learning officers a lot. I went out and I asked 250 of them, well, tell me, do you deal with these folks? And what they said, is the CLO involved in making decisions about customer learning? 2/3, no. Well, what's with that? I mean, if we're experts in learning, where do we bring the customers? Is CLO involved in making decisions about learning for partners in the supply chain? 2/3 of them, no. Well, time to wake up and smell a coffee, I think. Well, I just say I don't use a lot of, well, I don't use these words unless I'm just sort of talking among us, because I find they're subject to misinterpretation. I used to, of course, talk about e-learning a lot, and then it got watered into meaninglessness. I used to talk about informal learning a lot, and then I found out that most executives hear informal learning and think, oh, hey, it's sort of random, hoo-ha, haphazard, lackadaisical, rather than challenge people to be all they can be. And I mentioned the learning conjures up ideas of schooling, and we don't want to pay for any of that. So my books, you know, I have to sort of obsolete them as I go, but my current one is on working smarter. And I'm going to skip over a few things just because we only have a little bit of time left. And I want to mention just an amazing thing about the power of networks. There's something called the strength of weak ties, which came out of how do people get their jobs. They don't get them from people they know, they get them from friends of friends. Well, these two guys studied the Framingham Heart Study data, which is a longitudinal database. They figured a way to connect people. And they found that, well, you know, happiness is contagious, but it isn't just if my friends are happy, I'll be happy. No, if the friends of my friends are happy, even if my friend's grumpy, it's likely I'm going to get happier. And in fact, it's astounding. Boy, I had a really fat customer a couple months ago and presented this, and he said, hey, I'm no longer responsible for being fat. It's that the friends of my friends are getting fat, damn it. And that has an impact. If you look at get over the detail. If you look at smoking, you are much more likely to smoke if the friends of your friends take up smoking. Which leads me to think, well, what if the friends of our friends are paying more attention to learning, are more actively engaged in narrating their work and helping other people out? I mean, smoking can be passed along. Can't some of these other things be passed along? So I think we've got a lot more to figure out. A lot of these ideas are not mine. They are from the people I work with. Harold Jarkin, who's mentioned, Charles Jennings, Clark Quinn. Jane Hart is the lady who's going to be co-moderating the new Twitter thing, which is going to appear hopefully in about 2 minutes. And there I am. And I'm quite open to sharing stuff. You can reach me here. All my stuff is there. I'll find a way that we'll put the slides up from there. And that is it. I thank you very much.